I'm a big fan of staycation as a form of holiday, of recharging. It's an annual rejuvenation time, and here is why. Last year, I experimented with the elements of satisfying staycation a lot over the period of 8 weeks. And the first 2 or 3 weeks were spent really on experimenting with what creates a holiday feeling right from the environment where you live, where I lived. And I must say that by the end of the 8 week period, I experimented with part time staycation, hence the longer period in which I could do this. I became a huge fan, and I want to share 5 main benefits that I have discovered from this form of holiday. In case it helps, and in case you are interested to try this, if it fits your life's needs this year better. The biggest, or maybe the most obvious benefit is that it is very respectful to resources, both to your pocket and to the planet. For obvious reasons, you're not flying, you are not burning a lot of fuel, you are not paying for premises twice at home and for accommodation going away. Buying food locally where you can get best value for money is likely to be cheaper as well. So more respectful, more economic to the resources. The other reason or benefit is the increase of creativity and innovation when it comes to ways you restore yourself through. In order for the staycation to work, and rather than you just being at home and sort of it feeling like you are missing out or not having a holiday because you do normal things that you do at home, you have to be purposeful and proactive in creating the experience of recharging, of having that holiday feeling. And because you need to achieve that from an everyday environment and setup, naturally you will need to be extra creative. And for example, if you took a course that I am teaching this month on organizing satisfying staycation, then you would have guidance exactly how to increase that creativity and innovation. And of course, in the process, you will have learned ways to access recharging from your familiar scene and community and the environment, which can serve you going forward. Some new ways that you haven't thought of, but are available right there where you are. The third benefit that I noticed is that the interaction with the environment during staycation tends to be more deep rather than broad. So rather than sightseeing, taking in lots of new sights, but quickly in a relatively shallow way, you can zoom in and interact with something in the environment much more deeply, more slowly, longer. Think about taking lots of snapshots from a place that you are sightseeing at versus, for example, slowing down and studying flowers in your own garden with camera, or maybe with painting, or maybe with meditation, but really lingering there. It's a different type of recharging, and one that's worth knowing about because it's a different type of delight, and one that can give as much or potentially deeper satisfaction when you do something more deeply rather than in big volume, but without really being present or really taking things in. As you know, sometimes sightseeing can be like that, like lots of superficial excitement, but maybe not enough spaciousness for things to go in and interact more deeply with your heart, with your soul, with your body even. The fourth benefit I noticed is that perhaps one of the more precious for me sides of staycation is that you are likely to grow in your capacity to receive from life unconditionally, because you would be by default opening yourself to delight, to whatever delights might be available where you are and where you live, and even to new delights in familiar environment that have existed all along, but you have not slowed down enough to notice or to open yourself up to receiving. And that capacity, apart from actually serving your staycation, is profoundly important to have in life, rather than imagining that you can rest or recharge or have or play or have fun or be delighted or satisfied if you satisfy a long list of conditions. You can open your eyes a little bit more to the available nourishment and delight that previously you may have ignored or not noticed. And that capacity to receive is much more important than the capacity to pursue. But without the capacity to receive, we end up grasping and searching and pursuing, but not taking things in and receiving and actually being nourished. Profoundly important capacity. And staycation is the opportunity to train in that, to grow in that capacity. And finally, a very surprising part of the staycation for me last year was that I was so deeply recharged. Initially I was imagining that I was just coping and having a second best kind of experience because of the pandemic and in order to stay safe. But actually, on return to work, I was so restored that I was excited and kind of full of energy to go back to work. Unlike maybe more expensive and shorter holiday that I would have had away before in more exciting place, because then coming back to work, I would only feel depressed about, the loss of quote unquote paradise. And the kind of the feeling of returning to normal and to home and feeling it wasn't fun to return to work in that way. And here I was returning to work with wind in my wings, and of course, well, it might depend whether you love your work or not, but still, to at least to be energized rather than depressed when returning to work, it's a really worthwhile benefit. And so this is my message. Do not just stay at home. Either go away if you can and like that option, or put some proactive creative thought into creating purposeful staycation so that you can train yourself into creating the holiday healing feeling effectively. Holiday healing may be also an opportunity for holiday healing to actually access recharging rather than chasing and ticking boxes and trying to be impressed but not actually take recharging and nourishment in. My name is Dorota Godby, and I'm recording this message because I'm offering for the third time a mini course in creating purposeful, satisfying staycation, and this is a message that I wanted to share with people because it was such a fantastic and somewhat unexpected discovery for me from organizing staycation last year, and now I'm on my second one this year with much enjoyment. You can find the staycation workshop info at gentlepower.co.uk/SSP. SSP stands for Staycation Success Pact, that I called a workshop this year. Thank you very much.